Breaking news, Nigerians. Is Peter Obi a tribal bigot? This question has sparked debate amongst Nigerians, especially with the recent incident of an EFCC official that was killed in Anambra. Now, many persons expected Obi to react to that incident. Many persons were anticipating that Obi would talk about the incident or write about it. But to their greatest surprise, Obi did not comment, on it. The likes of Reno and Bashir Ahmed, the former SA to Muhammad Buhari on digital communication, has criticized Obi. These guys, they've criticized Peter Obi, the former presidential candidate of the Labour Party, for not addressing and condemning the killings of the EFCC operative Halisu Sahabi during a raid in Awka, Anambra State. And in a post on his verified X account, Bashir Ahmed expressed that he had expected Peter Obi to extend his condolences to the EFCC official and Sahabi's family. According to him, Obi, in whose state the incident occurred, should have strongly condemned the killings of the EFCC official. But then, Obi did not condemn it because he was waiting patiently for Obi to condemn the incident. It was previously reported that Sahabi, an assistant superintendent with the EFCC, was fatally shot by one Chukwuka Ikechukwu from Awka during a raid on Friday morning. And Sahabi and other EFCC officials were on a mission to arrest group of suspected cyber criminals in Awka, Anambra State when the incident occurred. And we know what transpired, how everything played out. But then some persons are disturbing themselves. The likes of Reno have said this matter has been over days and Obi has not criticized, these killings. So he called Obi a tribal bigot, that Peter Obi is not talking about it because it is his kingsmen, because it is one of his kingsmen that perpetrated the acts, because the person is an Anambra person, and said perhaps Obi is just keeping quiet because it is one of his kingsmen. So my country people, make una come chook mouth for this matter. Even Bashir Ahmed also said the same thing, that he had expected, Peter Obi to react over the murder of the EFCC's agent. That Obi's silence, especially since the incident occurred in his home state, raises questions about his commitment to justice. That as a leader that he is, a lot of people expected that he ought to have condemned this atrocity, that Nigerians should watch Obi closely or with two eyes. And so many rhetoric have been flying around regarding Obi's silence on that issue. That Obi did not condemn the killing of the EFCC officer that took place in his hometown, Anambra, because the victim was an Hausa person and the perpetrator was his kingsman, that's his tribesmen. So what does Nigerians expect more than that? But then, my country people, this very Bashir Ahmed, he did not comment on Deborah's killings. Oh, yes, he did not comment on Deborah's killings. We all remember Deborah, who was brutally murdered and set ablaze while studying in the university by suspected Muslim extremists. And he did not condemn the brutal killings. Instead, he supported it. I'm not siding with anybody here. I'm just stating the obvious, that look at what's happening in Nigeria. So for disclaimers, I'm not supporting anybody. I'm only analyzing what Bashir Ahmed has said concerning P2B. If P2B chooses to remain quiet about it, I'm sure he has his own reasons for not commenting on the killings. But for people to jump into conclusions and make assumptions that Obi did not comment because the person in question, the perpetrator, is one of his tribesmen, then it is really preposterous, because I don't really know how they tend to draw these conclusions. So my country people, what are your thoughts on this? Because if you are pointing fingers at someone, when you look back, you see that the remaining fingers are pointing right back at you. This same Bashir Ahmed, during the years back when Deborah was brutally murdered, even till today, my country people, even till today, those persons that murdered Deborah, those persons that ended the life of Deborah, they've not been held accountable for their actions. They've not faced the law. Nothing has happened to them. They are still walking scot-free. But when I see how this country really be, they are still working. No arrest was made whatsoever. And those guys that perpetrated that act, they were actually bold enough to make statement that nothing will happen to them. Their faces were shown. It was clear. But yet, nothing. Bashir Ahmed said nobody who speaks against Islamic religion should be left unchecked. That, in fact, he supported what happened to Deborah. He did not condemn it. So a lot of things are really going on in this country, and it is only God that will help us. Now, the thing about EFCC, I don't really know, because at this point, they should have a time that they work. So the EFCC should work with the time that is within the confines of the law. Anytime they are going for a raid, they should not go to somebody's house at night. Midnight, you are going to raid somebody. And when they asked them, they said they do that because they know internet fraudsters at night. They raid at night because they easily, they easily get them at night. They should do proper diligence before barging into somebody's house. The EFCC, their own self still dey their body. So at this point, nobody, this is a very sensitive topic. It is a very sensitive topic that everybody would want to, would avoid picking sides with anybody. It's a very sensitive topic that nobody would want to pick sides with anybody. So I guess that's why Obi kept mute regarding this issue, because he wouldn't want to side with the EFCC, neither would he want to side with the man, So guys, I'm dropping here. Kindly share your thoughts on this in the comment section. Thank you.